Disorderly Product News. Recently had the pleasure to sit down with one half of the famous Pot Brothers, attorneys at law. Two brothers that came up with a now famous 25-word script to say to law enforcement when pulled over. They also spearheaded the charge in California, setting a trend by kicking down the doors for high-level attorneys, letting the country know you can be pro-cannabis and retain your elite professional status. Let's take a quick look.
Don't talk to the cops. And learn your rights. When he says, oh, what's that smell? I don't want to discuss my day. There you go. And if you're that's right.
You invoke the fifth, and then you shut the up.
I'm Craig, the big brother.
I'm Mark, little brother.
And we're the Pot Brothers at Law.
My special guests are Pot Brothers-in-Law, Mark and Craig.
Mark and Craig, Pot Brothers at Law. It's Shut Friday. Shut up. Shut up Friday. Teach your friends and family how to shut when cops ask questions.
Who's the worst person you've ever represented? I mean, obviously you can't say exactly who the person is.
He was a scumbag.
But he still has rights. Scumbags have rights.
Be honest, that really wasn't McConaughey in that video.
That really was. Moondog, what do? Shut the up.
This is part 2 of my interview with Mark Wasserman, one half of the Pot Brothers attorneys at law. You saw him on Tosh.0. You saw him on The Hot Box with Be Real. They are something else. Mark is something else. So stay tuned. This is part 2. He's a lawyer, but he thinks just like we do. Same ideology. So stay tuned. This is going to be interesting. Their link will be in the description. Their YouTube channel is fantastic. Go on over there and tell them Disorderly Product News sent you. Now let's get the show on the road.
All right, so this is called Am I Being Detained or Am I Free to Go? A slam poem by the Pot Brothers at Law. Am I being detained or am I free to go? This is what to say. My lawyer tells me so. The cops are out there doing a job. Sometimes they must contain a mob, a thankless job that saves many lives. At their home are worried children, husbands, and wives. But does that give them the right to stomp on my rights? So we are here for you, the cannabis community, to fight. To let you know it's okay to just shut the fuck up when cops ask questions. You start with, I'm not discussing my day, end with, I invoke the fifth. These ain't suggestions. These are words to live by, to memorize. See, it's not about the size of that cop's gun, because they want you to run, so they can pull that macho gun and shoot you for fleeing the scene. Some cops are just plain mean. We must shut it off, shut it down, those feelings of anger that instantly come around when that cop has to show his power and his might, without cause, without reason, and we know they're not right. We must remain calm. Keep the devil sleeping on the left shoulder. We must be cold, even colder. Ice must flow through your veins to shut that heat. The blood that rushed your brain straight from your feet when that cop disrespected you, cause you wouldn't tell him what that smell was? And he accuses you of a pot DUI because he absolutely knows that you're buzzed. But see, they can't tell and they don't know, only if you tell them so. Oh, officer, I spoke to Joint a few hours ago. Oh, officer, here's my medical rec. Officer, I'm a marijuana patient. We live in America. Prohibition still exists. That cop's going to do whatever he's going to do. 50-50, he arrests you. Give us a chance to represent you with a defense that's blazing. Let us show you in court we're amazing. But we can only do that if you listen to our tips. Now let me see you move your lips. You know the drill. When the cops ask questions, we say, I'm not discussing my day. Am I being detained or am I free to go? I invoke the fifth and then you shut the fuck up. It's all about what you say and what you do. We have given you the script. We are telling you what to say. We are telling you what to do. We put your hands up in protection mode. But should you take a shot to the jaw, we will be here fighting for the cannabis community and all Americans because we are the Pot Brothers at Law.
That was awesome, dude. That
Oh,
was
thank you very much.
awesome. That was awesome. I was reading the comments. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is great." That was awesome.
Remove a major crutch away from the cops, and that crutch is when you look back at the last, few years of all the shit that has happened with cops shooting, killing, people, and not getting prosecuted fully for it, whether they keep their job or they get, charges brought and then they get acquitted. Rarely do we see them get convicted because they're able to say all the same thing.
Yeah.
I was afraid for my life. I was afraid. That person reached over here or said this, whatever. They're able to say that because those people did something. And whatever they did not warrant the cops doing the shit that they do.
Yeah.
I can't control that.
Yeah.
I can control preserving your rights, remedies, and defenses after your altercation with the cop, whether it ends in a traffic ticket or worse, or hospital or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then you're talking a civil case where if you did what we say, and like we say, room for one ego at a traffic stop, let it be the cop, and you did it, and the cop beat you up for what? Because you said I'm not discussing my gay, and that's and they did that. Well, you get fucked. And that's going to be a good lawsuit. And I'm sorry you went through that, but you've preserved your rights. And you take away the ability of the cop. And the system is looking for that fucking reason and ability to be able to say, well, no, I was afraid for my life. And they did this and these 3 things that equal this made them feel like that. Take all that away.
Yes.
By simply remaining calm, manning up and, calming down. We always had our belief. We've always used cannabis. I was always very open about it. I didn't give a flying rat's ass. My brother was more, when it first happened and stuff also coming out. But as we grew and saw that, hey, we can show people that being a stoner is someone who's successful. And that's the only word that has a negative connotation that I think deserves to be and should be turned around.
The recreational?
No, the term stoner.
Okay.
The term stoner, that has a negative connotation because what do you think of a lazy stoner and the Spicoli's and the how high and all that stuff. And so, and then those there's comedies and good, all fun and great, Cheech Chong, everything, but breaking that general stigma, the reefer madness that still is here in our society. People who just think, oh my God, you're smoking. What are you doing? And breaking that stigma. Sorry, going back and forth. Breaking that stigma once we got on social media saying that, look, the word marijuana was used first by Harry Anslinger in 1930, I think, when he took over as the head of the first Federal Bureau of Narcotics. Yeah. And I don't even want to get started on Anslinger. And he created the propaganda around it using the word marijuana to make it sound more ethnic. And all the ethnic people were coming in with their music and, all this and that. And it was all tied to marijuana. And then they ultimately, outlawed it. And so dope, weed, and words like that they carry the negative connotation with it that that's easy to change. Cannabis, just use the word.
He is a breath of fresh air. He's somebody on our side who's saying, listen, we are hardworking Americans. We work hard for our money. To get a $220 seatbelt ticket is ridiculous when the cop himself doesn't have his seatbelt on.
You just struck a nerve with me in terms of infraction tickets, right? And infraction, because who's going to go hire an attorney for, there's ticket clinics and Mr. Ticket and all those kind of traffic attorneys and stuff in places like that. But we got a case. We're getting more of them. Open container, right? Open container for like a roach in the car, or somebody got something, they opened it. It's just like a bottle of vodka or whatever alcohol you have. If that container seal is cracked, it's an open container violation and an infraction. And for cannabis in California, that infraction then equals a point on your DMV record, right? So we had a case recently, an Uber driver, a nice lady Uber driver, who one of the things she did was give homeless people rides for free. Yeah. And so she was doing this, and she dropped somebody off, and she was Latina, and she got pulled over, right? She came out of this strip mall where there was a laundromat where she dropped the homeless guy off. And she told me when he got in the car, he stunk of stink and cannabis and beer and he stunk. And when he left, the car still stunk, right? Yeah. And then she leaves. She gets pulled over for nothing more than profiling. I can only imagine, because when the cop pulled her over and she said, "Why did you pull me over?" He said, "Because I smelled pot." It still doesn't, I can't, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so now we got a person who knows her rights and follows us actually, and knows the script and stuck with it, didn't say shit. Ultimately, the cop did their search because of the smell.
But that's what they were saying. Their PC was for the stop was the smell.
Right, which is ridiculous.
Obviously.
That whatever. And by the time, in this case, so this is ongoing still because of the pandemic. It's been kicked out. So I still am going on this case once this is all over. And the cop searched. Well, actually, what was great about this, my client took video, had her camera on the whole time, and she was a woman. It was a male cop, and she asked for a supervisor because she felt uncomfortable, which is your right. And you can do that. And and you will wait. They waited a long fucking time. And I think they do that on, he's on another call or whatever. But I think, and sometimes I know that happens. Like, well, fuck it. I just want to go. And they, and then now you give up. But she waited. That fucking guy came, the sergeant, supervisor, whoever he was. And this burns in me when I watch the video of him getting there and coming up to her and saying, "So what's going on? Why are we here?" Did you fucking go talk to the cop who pulled her over for smell? Or, I mean, if you wish you could say anything in moments like that, it's like.
And this wasn't voluntary. I didn't.
And he goes, I'm not discussing my day. And I have a doctor's appointment. He wouldn't even let me call my doctor. I'm late for my doctor's appointment. I mean, she said a few other things like that, but hey, she was late for her doctor's appointment. And then the guy the sergeant let her call the doctor. I'm late, being pulled over. And then, well, we'll let you go, but we got to check the car first.
Oh, yeah. We're going to barter. We'll let you go, but you got to check your car first. We're going to make a deal.
I don't give consent. He goes, well, it smells. We're going to search. And she did what we say. I do not consent to searches. Step aside. Don't get in their way. Let them do their job. It's all they're doing. Yeah. Their job. Yeah. They're doing their job. Yeah. So they search and they find a goddamn roach in the back seat that the homeless guy dropped and left there. Yeah. And now she gets a ticket, infraction for open container. As an Uber driver, a point against your record, that ain't gonna fly too well as a driver. And so she reached out to us, because she knew who we were and stuff. She reached out to us, and she was very forthright and upfront that she doesn't, she can't afford an attorney. I said, look, it's a traffic ticket, more or less. It's a traffic ticket. Typically, you're not going to go get an attorney for a traffic ticket, but you're going to need to file an intricate motion to argue this search was illegal. Yeah. I'll tell you what, and we're in Southern California in Orange County, and the county that she was in was about a 2.5 hour drive away from me. And I said, we'll take care of it because this is bullshit. Yeah. And more so when I saw that she had video and I watched the video and I'm drooling because when I have video like that, okay, let's go, man. Let's go to court.
But let me ask you this, Mark. What is the premise that the search is illegal? Do cops have the right to ask you for your card, or because it's recreational, there could be a smell there because it's
so in
legal.
California now, smell is not probable cause.
Okay.
In California, some other states too. I think Colorado, most states where it's adult use. And we'll talk about adult use versus recreational in the words later. But in most states where it's adult use, probable smell isn't probable cause because it could potentially be just legal conduct. I wear this replica around my neck every day, and when I go to court everywhere, it's not real. But if it were, and it was really dank good shit, it'd smell up the whole block.
Yeah.
Really smell up the car. You know, and that's legal conduct. Probable cause and smell in the past was there because smells like cannabis. Oh, it's illegal. It's just illegal everywhere.
Yes.
And so now, and the other point about not consenting to searches and shutting the freak up is making that argument. Whatever state you're in. Now, if you're in a state where there's no medicinal and no adult use, then it smells probable cause. It's
period.
Because
it's going to be there.
But you have a lot of states that are medicinal, right? And not adult use. So what's the rub? And that's where here in California, when it was like that, I always got very upset at my clients who talked because you just took away my argument that the smell that you had was legal because you're a medical patient. You're allowed to have
There's 100 people in jail. Let's just say out of those 100 people, how many of them are there because of something they said after contact with the police?
Probably 90%.
90%. So probably. Only 10%. The police had probable cause. The police had everything they needed, probable cause to arrest that person. The other 90% was given to them by the person they arrested.
More likely than not, yes. That's my belief. Yeah, and doing it as long as they have.
Yeah. And I think you're right because they're not your friends. And I had one with Chuck Bronson. Chuck Bronson's a channel in Indiana, and we sat there and we watched these two young African American kids, couple, a guy driving and a girl, and they got pulled over by just a regular truck, a Dodge truck. No, I guess you could do that in Indiana. No municipal plates, no markings anywhere, nothing. It's just all of a sudden red and blue lights came on, and they were laughing with the cops. And me and Chuck are sitting there being like, stop laughing. They're not your friends. And one by one, it was, okay, get out of the car. And then, can we search the car? And then we found weed. And then, and kept on going. And then the cops that were laughing with them started leaving one by one. And then all the cops were gone and their car was gone. They were sitting there on the side of the road with a summons. And all their buddies that they were laughing with are gone. You're not their friends. They didn't pull you over in the middle of the night to have a conversation with you. You trying to be friendly with them is what they want. You're not going to out-friend them. They're not going to take pity on you. If that's your legal strategy, they'll take pity on me. They'll like me. They'll think I'm a personable person. If that's your legal strategy, you're in deep trouble.
Right. Well, and here's something else, too. It's with regards to just traffic stop and traffic tickets and traffic violations. Doing this also is going to increase the chance that the cop is not going to remember you or care about you and may not show up versus the guy who argued with him at that traffic stop about whatever. The light was yellow or whatever. I'm fucking taking my notes and I'm remembering this motherfucker and I'm going to show up.
Just make sure you don't miss that court date.
Harvey says, "Yeah, I'm gonna put a star on this body camera footage. I'm gonna mark this. Good. It'll make it easier for the town attorney to give it to me when he looks for it. It made it simple. Oh, this is the one right here."
Because a lot of cops don't show up to traffic tickets and they get dismissed. So you increase your chances of that happening if you're just faceless. You're there for the moment. You got pulled, and this is we're talking about all this stuff with cops and everything, and I got to say they have a hard job, and they don't know if they come up to a traffic stop if they're just going to get shot. And they're doing their job, and like everything else, there's bad ones, right? But there's the cops out there who are trafficking policing, making sure the roads are safe for us, and pulling people over and giving tickets. And if something is staring them in the face because somebody did something or they're a ding dong because something's in plain view or whatever it is, then okay, start investigating, but still shut the fuck up and all that. But that's more for the cops who are just looking. They're just looking to fucking do something. Like the post we did today on Instagram, this cop, it's gone viral, I think in the last 2 days, I think in Utah. And somebody pulled over was asking the cop, why were you speeding? And this cop just fucking railed on him. And it was another good example of shut the fuck up because you don't know which cop you're going to get.
Yeah.
If you say the wrong thing to the wrong cop, bah! And that's what happened with this guy to the point where the fucking guy who got pulled over is talking and the cop screams at him, shut the fuck up. And we reposted it on our Instagram today, just a little while ago. I saw it. And it's like,
What's your Instagram?
POT_brothers_@_law. Pot Brothers at Law with underscores all across because of my fucking brother.